Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're kind of back to our more normal speed builds. Today, though, I was inspired by the new kits in particular. So today we're building kind of like a row house. It sort of matches the vibes of Willow Creek. It's kind of like yeah, like a little row house. It's kind of long and sort of skinny. It's a 1 bedroom, and this house only uses base game and the basement treasures kit, I believe it's called, and the greenhouse kit. That I can't remember the specific name of it, but it only uses those two kits and base game, and not a ton of things from the basement kit, just because I wasn't making like a rundown style per se. I've just got the couch, I think, from that kit, as well as a few other items like the plant that was originally in Sims 1, and I think some other decorations, but nothing, not a ton of things. So if you don't have that kit, no worries. So back here, the main reason I wanted to make this house is because I really wanted to have a greenhouse for this, kind of small house. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I can't remember what the price is, but it might be a little bit ridiculous for how small it is. But anyway, that's the price. But I wanted to have a little greenhouse. There's lots of plants around the outside of the house as well. Some plants inside, not a ton of plants inside. I probably could have added more plants, but I also didn't want to make it too expensive. And, using only base game and those kits, there aren't actually a ton of plants that come in the greenhouse kit. But I was inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest of sort of a similar house. Here I am searching through the pillars because base game does not have the pillar that I want, which is the one from Get Together. I just wanted a square pillar, but instead we went with this one. It's not even, base game doesn't even have an all white pillar, which is a little bit frustrating, but that one is like the yellow one, and it was kind of the simplest one that I could find that was like a square and not a circle. So yeah, here we are doing the floor plan. It takes me a little bit to kind of figure out how to do it, just because it's not like a huge space. Bathroom over there on the side, and then just a single bedroom at the back. I go with this pretty green color. I feel like I use it a lot. I looked at a couple of other ones, but I feel like I use it a lot. And then just a simple metal roof. So I was trying to figure out like what window to put there. I changed them all to like the brown swatch. I think it looks pretty nice, if a little bit boring, which is why we have so many plants, I think, in the yard. Just because it's not a super exciting house. It took me a long time too, when I was furnishing the inside, to settle on a wallpaper for like the living space. I just really didn't like any of them. And that's kind of the issue with a limited pack build, is that you are extremely limited. And then trying to like base it off of the style of some of the items from the basement kit. That's my dog shaking his little body. It made it kind of more of like an older traditional type style for house. Oh, hi. He came over here and needs attention. But yeah, I went with this. I really like that base game stove and fridge, so I went with those. And it matches, like, there's a lot of brown and blues in this house. It is a bit of a blue suburban. Shout out to little Simsy. But yeah, a bit of a blue suburban. Also in this build, you don't see me add a bookshelf, but I go in and add one afterwards. So in the end photos, there is a bookshelf in the living space next to the like couch. And it's because when I went in to take screenshots, I realized I didn't have any bookcase. Well, actually, no. I do have the like separate books in the bedroom that are just sitting on the dresser. So those are there, but I think I also added those later. I forgot a few things when I thought I was done with this. And it is actually a shorter video than some of my other ones have been lately. So hopefully you enjoy seeing this process. I've got the kitchen basically done. I don't think I add really anything else to that kitchen area. I will sort of change the layout of the living room over here just because I'm going to push the bathroom back a little bit to have more space for the couch. And that, you know, that was kind of a large, kind of long bedroom anyway. So it took me a while to figure out what other sitting thing to go with that couch. Sitting thing. I say that because I used a chair in the end. But I used that couch from the basement kit and the little table that the TV's on, as well as that really old TV, old style TV. Growing up, we had a TV just like that, and it was in our dining room kitchen area. I don't know how many other like 80s and 90s kids had this, where there was a TV in the dining room. And ours was just like, looked just like that, had the little dials on the side, and it just sat on like a tiny wooden filing cabinet that was kind of used as like an end table. Here you can see I cut out all of the wallpaper searching because it was taking an unnecessary amount of time. So I just went with that yellow. It's pretty simple. Got like a small dining table there, and I'm just changing out the lights to more reasonable fixtures. I don't know if the ones I put in the kitchen made sense, but I couldn't really figure out what else to do. If I had other packs, it may have gone differently. And then I'm just using those photos that came with the basement kit as well. I thought they looked kind of nice, kind of like a little collage wall. In that corner where that plant is, I end up putting the bookshelf and then just moving the plant over. And it sort of fills in the space more. I don't know why I did not think to put a bookshelf there. Just being silly goofy, honestly. A couple more plants like in the kitchen, one on the table of course, and then the bathroom. Like I said, this build is not very long. It goes by pretty quickly. I did actually leave the bathroom in here though. Lately I've been cutting out the furnishing of the bathroom, but I left it in there. Got a nice mirror with a little medicine cabinet. Yeah, normal bathroom stuff. I think that's why I cut the bathrooms out. They're just kind of boring and a little bit samey. I do end up, changing to that simple, like more simple subway tile. But yeah, that's a blue bathroom for sure. And then, yeah, the theme of this build is blue. There's a lot of blue on the interior. I use that nice bed. Here I am messing with the floor plan again. I just could not settle on what to do, and it was a problem. You know, I thought about moving the bed to that wall, and then I ended up moving the door again. And that leaves a perfect spot for that bookshelf. Again, who knows why I didn't think to do it before. I like that nice light blue. Got a dresser, got a nice desk over there with a computer. So we have all the essentials here. You know, things for entertainment, things for skill building out in the greenhouse. Could have added like an easel. I can't remember if I put one on the back porch. I don't think that I did. But like I said, it's not a huge house. And it is a lot more traditional style than I've been interested in building lately. Lately, I've been really interested in building like more modern builds. That kind of came out with the Batu one, but maybe that one was just a little bit goofier. But yeah, just putting some clutter around based on what is in the pack. I put those bottles from the greenhouse kit in the bedroom because I thought maybe they looked kind of like, I don't know, cleaning supplies, or like maybe they just left them there. I think I ended up deleting that plant in the finished build, the one that I just stuck by the bathroom door, because it just kind of sticks out and it's kind of weird for it to be there. Yeah, a couple more plants and the inside is basically done with that rug. We'll move to the back. Got a rug back here. And I'm now just going to do the greenhouse. And first I started off by just putting everything in that kit out there and then kind of maneuvering things around a little bit. And we'll add some planter boxes inside as well as a couple of bigger ones outside, just because, you know, if your plants are covered, they can grow year round, allegedly. I have been, in my Not So Berry gameplay save that I do on Twitch, we have a garden and it's covered. When the greenhouse kit came out, I kind of put like a cover over it with the greenhouse windows on the walls around it. And half the time they're not in bloom. They're not growing. They're just like the little dead spots in the in the ground. So I don't know what that's about. I know there's some glitches with the plants. I just ended up doing a simple pathway outside. I love the bricks that came with the greenhouse pack. And then I thought about putting like a picket fence around it. I didn't really like how short the fences are. Again, I think it's the kids or toddler stuff, or I think it's toddler stuff comes with that really cute picket fence. And maybe also the patio one has a really cute fence that would have fit the vibes, but again, limited packs, limited ability to use things. Oh yeah, I went ahead and added a window there in the kitchen because that wall looked super boring. At first I just put these in and then I'll sort of make them into like a little enclosed flower bed area, which I think is really realistic for this kind of house with the greenhouse, that they would have really manicured flower beds in the front. Maybe not as neat as some could be, but that's what I went with. Yeah, I'll just put a few things in the backyard with the flower beds. I put like a grill and table and things. And yeah, the build is really close to being done. Again, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And if you're not following or subscribed, click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And if you're interested in checking this build out in The Sims, I will post my EA Gallery ID in the description below. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!